Missing someone love with all your heart. Missing someone love with heart.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So this week's episode, I have a really fun transformation for you guys. So this client came in to me, she texted me and she wanted to pretty much embrace her natural gray. So what you're seeing right now is her natural hair color. She hasn't dyed it in years, she said, so everything is pretty much virgin, and all she wants to do is really just enhance it and have something just super low maintenance, so when her roots grow in, she never really feels like she needs to get her hair done right away, and whatever I give her today is gonna just grow out super seamless and beautiful and just make her feel good that her natural hair color is growing in the first place. And whenever I get a client like this, I get really excited because I honestly love just enhancing whatever natural hair color that a client already has, and it just makes it a lot easier too when you're maintaining it and when it fades out really pretty and you never feel like you really need to come back in right away. That's the type of color that I like to do on my clients. Is I like them to enjoy the fade of their color and never feel like they really need to get their hair done right away after we do a session. So for my client today, since she already has such a beautiful gray pattern, we're basically just going to do pretty much like a partial. So I've already kind of detailed the hairline, and I am adding just like a little bit of a slice back here, but I'm going to move right into the partial. And what a partial is for me is pretty much everything above the crown area and around the hairline. And so this back part really doesn't get colored too much. I don't really focus on this back part too much, but for her I just added just a couple of pieces just because I do feel like this middle part, you can see, is a bit darker than the rest, and I wanted everything to really blend seamlessly, but I am being very spaced out, so my sections are pretty far apart. I'm just adding a few foils back here just to give it a slight pop and make it feel a little bit lighter in the back, but I'm really going to focus on the mohawk section above the crown area, which is basically above the occipital part of the head. And what this is going to do is it's going to just overlay on top of everything else that is underneath. So the depth underneath there is actually going to create that very natural, beautiful low light effect. And from here on, I'm going to just slice the whole head pretty much. And I chose to slice her hair because, in my opinion, I feel like whenever you're doing gray blending, or for me at least, I feel slicing gives a really seamless look. I find that doing weaves or doing chunky weaves on gray blending, sometimes you can really see the chunks of it, and I feel like natural gray pattern, it just looks like you can't really tell that it's like super highlighted or chunky. It's just super seamless and everything is just very blended, and that's what I feel like slices give the hair. I feel like slices give that effect that everything is just very woven in and blended, and there's no real pieces where you can like differentiate that that's a highlight. So for my products, since I am just doing a partial, I just pretty much detailed the hairline just with one foil, and then maybe did like 2 to 3 foils in the back part. I'm just using Blonde Me Sports Cough Lightener with 20 volume only. Now if this was a full head of foils, like I was doing a full balayage on her, I would have started with like 6 and 20 to kind of detail the underneath where the nape is, but since we're just diving in and going into that partial, it's going to be super quick of an application, so I just did 20 volume all throughout. So I do want to mention that I do get a lot of inquiries from new clients that want to do gray blending, and when you see the results of like a majority of my gray blending videos, a lot of times it's easy because the client already has like a lighter base, or for instance, for this client, she has completely virgin hair, so it makes it super easy for me to lift her hair. So this type of transformation really only works well or looks good on hair that hasn't been colored before. Like you'll see at the end, her hair color looks so natural, and it's literally the hair color that she was wanting and had showed me in the pictures, because her hair is virgin. And lifting color or hair that's been previously colored, it does make it a bit more difficult. This is because when you're lifting virgin hair, the lift is super clean. It doesn't expose any warm tones like it would if you were lifting out hair color. So like for example, if a client has been doing base color, you are essentially, as you're doing a permanent color to the root to kind of cover the gray, you're depositing warm tones, which are the undertones of that level that you're using, into the hair. So when you go in and bleach out the base color, which is a permanent color, it exposes all of those warm tones that you initially deposited by covering the grays, and it makes it very difficult for it to lift compared to hair that's never been colored. So that's why I personally am a huge fan of not using base color. I try to keep my clients away from it as much as possible if they want to do highlights. If they like warm tones and they like to be on the darker side and they're committed to that, then I don't mind doing a base color because that's exactly where those colors live. But if a client is wanting something like this, where they want to be gray or silver or even on the ashier side, even blonder, I try my best to stay away from base color because it exposes all of that warmth when you go in and highlight the hair. And oftentimes when you highlight hair that's already been colored with this permanent color, it takes time for the lightener to pretty much eat the color away and then lighten your hair. And in that process, as it takes longer, it puts a bit more stress on the hair as it's lifting out that permanent color before it lifts your hair. So to keep your hair as healthy as possible, which is super crucial whenever you're trying to do any type of gray or silver, because grays and silvers, they need to be as light as possible. So you want to take the healthiest route and keep your hair as healthy as possible with the least damaging process when you want to do something like this. So essentially doing a color that is silver or gray, it works best on virgin hair. Okay, so I just want to explain the technique real quick. So you saw I pretty much detailed her back hairline where the nape is, and then I pretty much took a center section up the mohawk and really detailed it starting from the occipital all the way to the hairline. And when I did the money piece, I did slices back to back to give her a nice bold money piece, but all of the slices behind the front money piece, I did leave some negative space. I would say the sections are probably like a 1/4 inch apart. I just like to do them a little bit closer together, just right where she parts her hair, so that she feels like she has a lot of color there. And then after I finish the top, I've moved on to the sides, as you can see here, and I did 2 slices back to back on the sides to again marry that money piece from the top to the sides. And then I connected a foil from the front and the back above the ear. And then after that, now that you can see, I'm just slicing and adding a bit more color on the sides here. So my sections on these sides, I am doing it a little bit on the thicker side because this is going to be the underneath again. So I don't mind leaving more dimension here, which I feel like it's going to give her a more pretty and natural look, especially once she styles it and curls it. Also, if you can see my slices too, I make sure that my slices are nice and see-through. I like to take them thin enough to where you can pretty much see the foil on the other side. This is going to ensure that you have like a really clean, easy lift, especially when you're trying to get a client as light as possible. It's really important to kind of give them that clean lift so that you don't see any like yellow warm spots after you're done. So this is what it looked like when my client's foils were ready. I lifted her, I would say, to about a level 10, and she lifted so beautifully, again, because she has that virgin hair. And so after everything is lifted basically to the same level, I'm going to pre-tone her with some Barcelona Purple Shampoo by Pulbright, and I like to use the purple shampoo as a pre-tone to help with any type of whites or silvers that I do. I find that it really does help with the toning process. And for the Barcelona, I do put a generous amount all over the hair, and I like to leave it on for at least maybe like 5 to 10 minutes before I do any type of toner. So lately for my toners, I like to do the Liquid Demis by Pulbright, and I generally like to do the 6-1. I feel like the 6-1 gives it a really nice deep gray tone. It's not too ashy or doesn't pull too blue, which I really love and is really important whenever I do or use any type of ash toners. So I have confidence that it's not going to turn that greenish color sometimes that some toners do if it has too much ash. I feel like it's a really good balanced level 6 ash for any type of root shade. And for her root shade, I'm basically just doing, I would say, a 1/4 inch of a baby root wherever her highlights are. And then later I'm going to go in with my rapid toner. So I like to use the Pulbright high speed rapid toners to tone the rest, and I do a mix of moonstone, silver, and violet, and sometimes I mix up the ratio on that depending on the hair texture, the hair density, and what level they lift to. But yeah, the high-speed toners are pretty much my go-to for any type of gray or silver. The reason why I love them so much is, one, because they tone extremely fast. And I feel like it gives really good pigment to the hair without darkening the hair, because sometimes I feel like when you use if I try to formulate a gray with using the Liquid Demis and it has like a level attached to it, sometimes it makes it kind of like has like that background tannish brown color, and so I don't generally like to use the Liquid Demis for that because sometimes it doesn't come out as gray or silver as I would like it to. But the rapid toners don't have a specific level to them, it's just strictly tone, which gives a really nice brightness to any of my grays and silvers. And so I applied it to the mids first, and then I brush it out. And notice that I only applied the root shade and the rapid toner on the back first because I left out that money piece hairline section for last. I find that since the hairs there are a lot finer than the rest, it tones super quickly. So I'm going in, and I haven't put the root shade on the money piece section yet. I'm going in and just applying that rapid toner first. And then after I apply the rapid toner on the money piece section, then I go in and apply the Liquid Demi root shade to the front. And I find that this kind of dilutes that root shade a bit because since the hair is a little bit finer in the front, it will take that 6-1 a little bit darker than the rest of the hair. Alrighty guys, so here is my client's finished look. I was so obsessed with it. She was so happy with her hair color. I feel like it doesn't even look like I really colored her hair, which is a good thing. It looks so natural. I feel like this is like her natural gray, which you can tell from watching that first before clip that she had all that dark in front of her, like in front of her face, around her hairline and stuff. And then after doing this transformation, I created all that beautiful brightness, and this is gonna grow out so amazing. So let me tell you a little bit about the maintenance. I would say for the maintenance on this, I told her she could come in whenever she wants to kind of redo her roots again, because this is gonna fade out really pretty. It's gonna get a little bit on the yellow side, but I sent her home with some like purple shampoo so she can maintain this gray silver at home. A lot of my girls that are gray and silver, they use the Barcelona purple shampoo, and the key is to leave it in your hair for at least 3 to 5 minutes and then rinse with cold water for it to really tone your hair. And honestly, all my girls that are gray and silver, they don't really come in for a toner because they're able to maintain this color at home with just that purple shampoo. Like, that stuff is magic, guys. So Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun doing this transformation and I just couldn't wait to post it and make this video for you guys. So I appreciate you guys watching and all that. But as always, guys, I will talk to you guys next week.